Car and Racing Adventures. Let's go racing! Something that we had to have special ordered for my engine, and let's see what we got. Come on, take a look. Come over here. It's a diaper. It's an engine diaper. Okay, NHRA requires when you're going really fast, and really you should have a diaper on a lot of the cars, and all it's going to be is just, it's going to hold up in case we have an unfortunate where you blow up the engine. It's going to catch most of the stuff, so it doesn't go all over the slicks and all the other stuff and not have a good day. So this one's a little bit different than I had from before, and it's going to fit no matter what. This is from DRE, Dennis Ridgeway Enterprises. They made it before, so it's custom made. It's got it all special right here for the engine mounts and stuff like that. And I wish I would have known, because when I first got these years ago, like 15 years ago, they just had just a basic engine diaper. They didn't make them custom back then, so I didn't know that they made them custom. I should have looked into it. So when the car being down for a couple of years, I could have had the oil pan shipped to them. They could have made it perfect, like it would fit like a Huggies diaper. But instead, it's going to fit good. It looks like it's going to fit really nice, and they did a really good job. Mike Roth over there helped me out on the phone. We gave measurements, went back and forth. We actually conversed a lot to try to make it the best we could without them actually having the oil pan. So regardless how it is, this is a really nice piece. See right there. See, that's the name right there. So it's going to be really nice. It's going to fit. It won't be as custom as the way they do it, but it was as custom the best we can do it for not having an oil pan there. So here we go. Okay, first step, take hood off. Now, you got to understand this hood is about 200 to 300 pounds, so I'm pretty fit for my age of 57. So look at that. You can really feel it in the pecs. Oh man. Okay, now we're gonna take the front end off. This is a little bit more heavier than that. So I'm gonna get my beautiful wife to help me on this. We're gonna put the camera out and we're gonna take this off. It's a one piece. Me and a buddy of mine did this back in 1986. We did it at my parents' house when I was living at home, and had it in the garage, and we transformed from the Pontiac engine we had in it, put a big block Chevy in it for a while, and then we did the fiberglass front end when I actually took the car off the street in 1988 was the last year I drove it on the street. So this is a 1986 front end, VFN fiberglass did it, and it was kind of odd. I didn't think they would have anything like that way back in '86, and so we had to do a little bit of fiberglass work, but nothing big. I didn't say it was ready to race when you got it. So it's a one piece take off, and here we go. So stand by. Okay, front end removal. Here we go. This is not easy. So just pull out up there a little bit. Okay, we'll slide it. This. Oopsie. Got caught on the staples on the box we had it sitting on. Anyway, so here's our front end. Here we go. Alright, so you can see just all fiberglass. When I first did it, I was still driving on the street. I didn't want to make it look like a race car, even as what it is now. So put all the grills back in, got our Zeus fasteners there, put headlights in, did all that. Hopefully you can see this. This right here is a Lexan cover that I actually made back in, I think it was 1995. And I got a whole bunch of Lexan. I cut them, I put them in the oven. And I probably made 12. just to make the four that are on this so I get the proper bend and the curvature, because I wanted to be aerodynamic as best as I could. It actually worked out pretty good. When I did those, the car picked up a little bit in ET. We knocked off a couple hundredths because the car was really, really consistent, running about the same speed in ET all the time, no matter what, at Bakersfield. So that's kind of what we did. And I did that when I was trying to get the car to run 980s at the time. We had a 472 big block in it, tunnel ram, two 1050 Hollies on it. And that's what we did with it. And doing all that, and I'll show you over here. Believe it or not, this was an old school trick. Here's some holes in the firewall. Some big old holes right there. What it did was that the air was coming through, and it was releasing and coming up through there, and so it wasn't really giving a parachute effect. And we knocked it down. The best we got was, I think it was a 984 at 136 miles an hour. With that 472 big block that we had in. So it was actually really good. It was really fun to drive. We did all that, and then raced it for a while. And then we decided to go bigger, and then we did a 540, but that's another story. We're going to continue on. Here's the engine right over here. Now this isn't the filter for the Pontiac engine. Just the filter we had for Charlotte the Nova. And what we're going to do here, I just have it all covered up right now. This is a blower motor. It's a 468 big block Chevy. We got a Dart Merlin block that my son bought for me just at the end of last year. I think it was October, November. He bought it for me because I was actually going to retire the car because the engine was bad. The block was bad, and we're racing the Cuddy so much that it was like I didn't really need to race the car anymore. So he bought the block. We had it rebuilt, L&R machine shop and engine building. They do it over there in La Mirada. So this is almost ready to go. So the project for today is that we're going to put that diaper on, and we're going to try to get it in here. This is not easy. This car has always kind of been a pain. I learned a lot of lessons from this and made the Cuddy super easy because even though it's a G body, the same frame format is the same. That's just metrics, a little bit smaller. So that's what we're going to do. I have it all covered up so I didn't get no dirt in it. I had other things covering up. This is just the last. And so here we go. I'm going to have to put head bolts in where the headers get close because I have there's head studs that we have on this. But with the studs coming out, it hits the header flange, and it's just kind of a big old goofy setup. So I got to put bolts on the bottom where each one of the bolts that goes in right where the header flange is. So I'm going to change those, and let's go take a look. Hopefully it's good because, once again, we have all of this darkness. Darkness surrounds me. I don't know why. Okay, so right here, right there, I got a flashlight on it. Those are actually head studs. There, and there. I'm going to take those out and put a bolt, because what will happen is that the bolt will actually sit down a little bit lower than what the head stud is, just enough, because you can see how high this stud is. It's coming way up here, and that's where it hits my header flange on the headers, because I get really big headers for this engine. So that's what we're going to do right now. We'll take these are just a nut. Oh, this is so cool. The stud's coming out really easy. I was hoping it was going to. Normally when you put head studs in, you don't torque them down. You just get them down and you just kind of give them just a small little kiss, and then you're good to go. You let the stud do all the work. You don't need to wrench it down. You let the stud and then the nut get your torque. So that's cool. First one came out nice. Could have got my electric ratchet and took these off quicker, but I'm really more trying to pay attention to the stud. I want to pay a little bit more attention to this than just zipping through with electric tools, because this is all brand new stuff. Not to me, it's not brand new, but brand new block, brand new studs and everything, and I just want to make sure that everything is going to be right when I put the head bolts in there. So I'm not in that big of a hurry. It's not like I need to have it running by tomorrow or even next week. So yeah, I could have done this faster, but I'm not. So right now only one of them wouldn't, oh there it goes. Just need to get my G.I. Joe grip on it. I'm gonna keep those dudes just in case for later. I got me some ARPs right here. These are the best bolts ever. No, I'm not sponsored by ARP, but ARP, if you're watching, we could use some help with our racing program. So anyways, we're going to put some studs in there. Just kidding, we're just going to be putting the bolts in there. There we go. And got fastener lubricant, got washers. And I think the way I used to do it, I didn't put washers on these before because even the washer was making the head sit up too high. It was kind of a weird setup because the headers are so darn big. And these are just cast iron. These are cast iron stock heads. With the blower, you don't really need a whole bunch. I mean, this engine puts out 1,300 horsepower on a very minor tune-up, only 9 to 10 pounds of boost. So it's not like I'm boosting it really, really high. So that's what we got on that. Let's see if I got the right bolts. Yeah, we'll torque these down. Yeah, I'm going to torque them down without a washer on them. Make sure it sits down low enough. I'll show you. Okay, so this is the stud. Oop, there we go. Here's the stud, the washer, and then the head that's on it. So you see how much you have from here to the top. If I put in that washer, hopefully this works out good on the camera. It's only a little bit less. It's probably it's less than an 1/8 of an inch difference if I was to use the washer. So on my particular engine, I'm not putting washers on the bottom bolts just so the headers will fit. Most of the time, all your other ones do. This one, it just doesn't, so it is what it is. So we actually had to buy 2 sets. I bought a head stud kit for everything else. Then I had to buy the bolt kit, which is what you see here, just for the bottom. That's okay. It is what it is. I'm not mad. Even though this is a newly rebuilt engine, and I'm sure they put lubricant on, but you can kind of see it on the studs. I'm just going to put a little bit on. Don't really need a whole bunch. Just a little bit. Just a little. You don't need to bathe in this. I said it's a Dart Merlin block, so it's a brand new block. I can use this block up to 500 and probably 90 cubic inches if I wanted to. But we stuck with a 468 because I don't have a big budget, so I stuck with all my other used stuff. Got it all freshened up. Contrary to belief, we really don't have a lot of money for this. Just a little bit on the threads. I'm sure for your car, your engine and stuff, you'd probably use the washers. Unless you got, these are big. These are I think, they're either 2 1/8 or 2 1/4 inch head pipe coming off. So they are gigantor. They're big, big, big headers. So the flange and everything. So it's kind of tricky. Okay, I just did off camera a little bit to see what the head studs were torqued at. Looks like it was 80 pounds. So we're gonna go in steps on this. I'll just go probably about 40 to start with. And I know you're supposed to torque in sequence and all that other stuff. I've done it this way before without any issues. First you torque the head on correctly and all that other stuff, and then you do it this way. It works for me. Might not work for you, but hopefully it does. Hopefully you don't have to do what I'm doing either. Okay, so we can go to 40 first. That's 40. Go 60. And we'll go 80. That's what the other side was, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, there's one side. Let's go to the other side. Hey, all right. We're gonna take off this side now. This is the driver's side. Now for you master mechanics, I use this as my breaker bar. It's not the same torque wrench I torque the other side with. This one here is old. It's not very accurate anymore, so I just use it as a breaker bar. Because you're really not supposed to use a torque wrench to take stuff off. It's only to put stuff on to tighten up. That's why I don't want to speed this stuff off. Sometimes faster is not always better. This one will take the G.I. Joe grip on it or not. Oh, I did. Nice to know at 57 I still have a little bit of grip left. Yeah, I'm that old. If you hear me talking about the 80s and stuff, I'm an 80s guy. 80s music and everything 80s. I'll tell you what, these ARP bolts, I remember when they first came out, a long time ago. And they just set the standard for quality bolts. I mean, you don't want to go over to Home Depot and go throw some bolts in. You know, I'm not knocking the Home Depot, but they're not race car parts. Home Depot, you're watching. We could use some extra tools, lawn garden stuff. Anyways, just putting a little bit of lubricant on these, not much. Except we're not going to bathe in it. Just a little bit, especially on that brand new block. The block alone on this was more than what we have in the whole engine on the Cuddy. Merlin blocks are expensive, but man, they are top quality. You are getting the best of USA. They are so good. Like I said, this is just a little baby 468. This thing can go up to, I think, 590 cubic inches or something like that. It goes, you can go really big on the bore on this. So this block, providing we don't have any major issues, is going to last forever for me. And for Nick or whatever, whenever I'm done racing. Brittany, if Brittany wants to drive the Pontiac. None of them want to drive my car though. It's not like my car is sketchy. It's just my car. And it's fast. Just to let you know how fast it goes. The fastest pass was at 8:55 at 160 miles an hour. That was at Fontana. About 6-7 years ago. And that was still with the baby tune. That was what the block was bad. I didn't use the trans brake. That was a foot brake pass. And just when I started getting the swing of really getting the car to really run some numbers is when we noticed that we were having a problem with the block. And the Cuddy was becoming our primary racer. And because we're just having so much fun and the kids are doing great in it. So, the Pontiac cassette, I've done enough in a lifetime with this car. So, having assist so we can run the Cuddy it's been great. So, but now it's time to get it back on the road. So, now I'm going to get the proper torque wrench. See, this is different. You probably can't tell on camera, but that's okay. We're going to go back down to 40. You would think, Mike, how come you don't have a Snap-on or a Cornwell or Matco? Once again, I just don't have a budget for all that stuff. You would think having a blown motor like this one, blown big block, that it's a lot of money, but honestly, it's really not. I got this blower engine cheap. Did it on a trade a long time ago. Long story, we're not going to get into it, but that's what we have now. We were actually thinking going back to naturally aspirated, but I felt as if I wasn't complete with this car, not keeping the blower on it, because I was just starting to really get the hang of everything with it. The car was responding. I was driving it really well. I won a Match Race Madness race. Like I said in one of my other videos, Steve Sherman runs here in Southern California Match Race Madness. They ran at Irwindale. They actually ran at Fontana. I won an event there. I raced PSCA. They're Premier Streetcar Association now, but it used to be Pacific Streetcar Association back when I used to race it. And I won a Outlaw 10.5 tire class with it. So I didn't feel I was really done running the blower motor. So it's fun. Okay, so now we're good. Double check. Okay, now we got all the head bolts all done correctly. Now it's going to be time to put the diaper on. And see how all that bolts up. So, stand by. Thanks for watching Man on Racing YouTube channel.